Good afternoon. We are going to explain our biology timeline. My team is composed by Jimena Arellano, Ángel Nava, Leon Rivera, Luis Rodríguez, René Valdés, and María Satarain. Keywords. Natural selection. Phenomenon of evolution that is defined as the differential reproduction of the genotypes of a biological population. Evolution. A series of natural processes that contributes to transform the genetic characteristics of the species. DNA. It is a nucleic acid that contains the genetic instructions used in the development and functioning of all living organisms and some viruses. It is also responsible for hereditary transmission. RNA. It is a nucleic acid formed by a chain of ribonucleotides. It is present in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, and is the only genetic material of certain viruses. Big Bang. It is the beginning of the universe, that is, the starting point at which matter, space, and time were formed. According to the standard cosmological model, the Big Bang took place about 13.8 billion years ago. Milky Way. It is a spiral galaxy where the solar system is located and its turn is the Earth. According to observations, it has a mass of 10 to the 12th power solar masses and is a bird spiral. The Origin of Species. It is a book by Charles Darwin published on November 24, 1859, considered one of the precursor works of scientific literature and the foundation of the theory of evolutionary biology. Taxonomy. It is the science of classification. The term is usually used to designate biological taxonomy, the science of ordering organisms in a classification system.
Theories of the universe. Along the centuries, the size of the universe grew conceptually in the minds of the astrophysicists and astronomers. Cent 16th century. The size of the universe grew conceptually in the mind of astrophysicists and astronomers. It was exclusively by the solar system. 19th century. In this century, the universe became a type of neighborhood of stars at different distances, giving form to our galaxy, the Milky Way. '20th century. By 1905, Albert Einstein proposed his theory of relativity. By 1922, Alexander Friedman proposed his theory of the oscillating universe. By 1927, the Big Bang theory was proposed by Georges Lemaitre. In 1928, Edwin Hubble discovered that the stillness of the universe was mere appearance. In 1948, Fred Hoyle, Hermann Bondi, and Thomas Gould elaborated the theory of stationary state. And by 1981, Alan Guth proposed the theory of the inflationary state.
Life's origin of chemical evolution. The chemical evolution is an apparent idea that was given by the name of heterotroph hypothesis of the origin of the life. He improved his book in 1938, which powerfully attracted a lot of attention of the rest of the world scientists. In 1950s, Harold Urey started reading Oparin's book, and he deduced that the initial components of the reducing atmosphere. In 1953, Stanley L. Miller designed a system of tubes and flask isolated form the exterior to simulate the hydrosphere as well as the atmosphere of primitive air. And after 1953, Juan Oro worked with an HCN synthesized adenine and one of the four nitronized bases or nucleotides.
Biological evolution. As we say, the predictions of the heterotrophic theory indicate that the organic compounds of the primeval soap must have first been polymerized until forming long chains. Structure. DNA and RNA. Structures of the nucleic acids. The RNA is a simple band or strand, while DNA is created by two strands which pair between them, forming a double helix.
Evolution history or evidence of history evolution. Today, the concept of evolution is widely used in a variety of disciplines and contexts, often with different meanings. Evolution means, like among biologists, the term evolution has a very special connotation that is always linked to living beings. They used it to refer to a series of natural processes that contribute, on one hand, to change the genetic characteristic of the species and led them to continually adapt to the variable environmental conditions. The history. Until 18th century, the naturalists that studied animals and plants attribute the diversity of species in the world allegedly to an event of divine creations which occurred 6,000 years ago. Illustrated thinkers imagined for the first time that nature could be explained appealing to process of change and transformation that will give rise to new species. Carolus Linnaeus, who was a creationist and a physicist, he has said new species of plants with different characteristics. And the evidences of evolution is that when we think about evolution, one of the evidence that comes to mind is fossils. The fossils are remain of the hard and more resistant part of some living beings from the past. The discipline in charge of studying fossils is paleontology. In The Origin of Species, in 1859 by Darwin, referred to three aspects of evolution: adaptation, transformation, and diversification of species.